From the F1 soundtrack, it's Ed Sheeran on Magic 838. About 2 minutes late, chatting with our buddy Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency with good policies. How you doing, Mike?
Good. Let the record show that I was here in plenty of time today. We're not 2 minutes late because of me. I was here early.
Guilty.
Ish.
Guilty. Before we go into this week's edition of Good Policies, had a couple of friends of yours in here this morning from the fire department.
Yeah, I was very pleased to hear Roger LaRue and Colin Fucci, the chief, to be on the air talking about the Waterford Fire Department anniversary celebration coming up. What is it, the 18th?
40 years.
Yeah, lots to be proud of. What an accomplishment for that department. You know, one of the things that people often forget is that when a town has a fire department, those guys and gals service more than your town because we have deals, right? We make a deal with St. Johnsbury and say, hey, look, if you need us, we'll come. But hey, if we need you, you'll come. It's called mutual aid. Everybody has it. It is so crucial, so important. So we only think sometimes about the town, the town calls that our fire departments receive. Never forget, there's a lot of mutual aid response out there, and having the right apparatus means all the money in the world. So.
Well, and the fact that there's only 25 or 26 of them on the volunteer fire department in Waterford, we've got to address that issue.
I keep volunteering the drive, and they keep saying no, because I guess they've seen my driving. So
that's going to lead into our subject this morning. That was perfect.
Thank you.
So we finally decided what we were going to talk about before we turn the microphones on. The question in anybody's mind, do you file a claim or do you open up your wallet? And you brought this to light back when you had an incident.
Yeah, I had a fender bender earlier this year, and I made the decision at that time because I'd had a claim a year prior that I, maybe in this hard market, maybe I'll entertain the opportunity to do this myself. And I did. And I'm glad I did. But it's not for everybody. And, primarily what I wanted to do is kind of discuss how a lot of people, when it comes to the potential of filing a claim, their first thought is, what's this going to cost me? Well, what do you mean, what's it going to cost you? Well, how much is my rate going to go up? I don't know. Nobody knows. Once renewal happens and the algorithms and the credits and everything align and the stars align, then we'll know. But I will tell you this, if you have a claim that is a couple $1,000, and you can afford it, weigh that option. It's your preference. It is your comfort level, right? But I'm of the mindset, and honestly, if I could go back, maybe I would have had the company pay that last claim because it was pretty expensive. My wife certainly wishes I hadn't made that executive decision without the CFO involvement. But, when it comes to filing a claim, if you do see an increase in your rate, would you rather see an increase in your rate for a few $100s for 3 years, or would you rather pay thousands of dollars out of pocket today? That's really ultimately what you're leveraging. Now, when it comes to a severity of claims, you definitely want to make sure you're using the claims process appropriately for claims that are significant. But if there's any frequency, right, we always throw severity and frequency together when we're talking about the status of our insurance market. If there's a frequency of claims, maybe you've had 3 glass claims, hit an animal, have this, have that. Well, now we're talking, might be a really good opportunity, good time for you to consider paying this one out of pocket. Or make sure you're taking those smaller claims and really thinking about it before you just elevate and go ahead and have it paid by the company. It's really a roll of the dice. I hate saying that, but it really truly is. And given how tumultuous the market has been for the past 3 to 5 years, it's really not a bad thing to think about. And the same could hold true for your home, right? If it's a small claim, not so much hold off in paying the claim or pay the claim yourself, but if you are one to go, you know what, I'm not going to call this one in, what's your deductible? Always think about that, because as we're looking at the cost of insurance, if you have a really low deductible, but you're not one to file smaller claims, go higher.
So let's go to the house.
I threw a lot at you, by the way. Sorry.
Well, no, that's fine. So let's use the property issue, okay? You got young ones out there, and they're playing ball, and the ball takes out the picture window. The picture window is going to cost you $2,200. Mm-hmm. It is your second claim in one summer.
Yeah.
Because a tree came down and took out the gutters. You would weigh that out, is what you're saying.
You would. I mean, luckily for property, it's pretty static, right? It's not moving. So it's very unlikely you could have multiple claims at your home in one policy period, or for that matter, in 2 or 3 policy periods. But if that is occurring, that does create a concern of frequency. And you do want to kind of, the best part about it, Jeff, is have the conversation with your agents, with people you know and trust. Get an idea of what our take is. It's just going to be a recommendation because what we say is not always going to be the absolute, but we're going to at least give you some structured guidance to make the right decision for yourself.
So we go back to auto. If you took a shopping cart and the passenger's door on the driver's side, or excuse me, the rear door on the driver's side, and you could deal with that nick or that ding, deal with it, or $1,500 for a door repair.
Right, and honestly, yeah. I mean, in a cart hitting your car, that could be a collision loss. But somebody hitting your car while it's parked and driving away, that's going to be an uninsured motorist lost. So there's different factors to consider because collision is considered at fault, even if it's a shopping cart hitting your, it's one of those things. But when it comes to uninsured motorists, you're really not penalized for that. So it's really a matter of whether there's a level of frequency. And you can't control if somebody hit and runs, right? But if somebody hit and runs you two to three times a year, now we're going to ask some questions. Does that make sense?
No, that certainly does, and I knew where you were going. So the tell-all in this is to have the conversation.
It always leads to that, doesn't it? And you can give us a call at 748-5224. Our office is located on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. We're online at thebarrettagency.com. Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency. And Jeff, October 18th is a big day because we have the NEK Can Rail Trail and Ale to start the day and the Waterford Fire Department anniversary to cap it off.
With their chili, and Calex is going to be there with their food trailer. Raised on Radio is going to be performing, and it's all free and all to celebrate our brave volunteers.
Sounds like a great time, and you know what? It's only a mile and a half from my house, so I shall be there.
Excellent. Good policies with Magic in the Morning. Your hometown minute from Beans Homes, not far away. Here's Shania Twain.